Hello everybody, this is Danny from TND Productions. Today I come to you from Cebu, Philippines. We have a special guest today. Today we're going to be talking to a retired American vet. He has some pretty surprising things to say about being retired as a vet in the Philippines. So let's hear what he has to say. But before we begin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, leave a comment. Tell us what you think about this situation. Well, let's see what this man has to say. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hello, my name is Thomas Johnson, and I'm American living here in the Philippines. I've been living here for about 10 years.
Okay, and what brought you to the Philippines?
Actually, my wife. My wife is Filipino. I met her in South Korea, and then we've been together. We've been together for 11 years, and we've been married for almost 5 years.
Oh, okay, and you were in the military, am I right?
Yes, I did. 17 years in the military. I was medically discharged out of the military after 17 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. I wish I could have stayed to 20, but my body just couldn't take it anymore, unfortunately.
Right, yeah, a lot of rigorous abuse.
A lot of physical activity.
Which rank were you in?
I was in the U.S. Army.
U.S. Army, oh,
yes.
Okay, and what rank did you get to?
Staff Sergeant.
Staff Sergeant, okay, yes. All right, okay, and you told me before you have a sort of a beef problem or a critique?
It's more the way U.S. veterans are treated here in the Philippines compared to back in the U.S. Mainland. We don't get the same benefits as, it's almost like we're being punished for living here outside the United States. But the funny part is, it's the only country in the world that it's like that. You can go to Germany, you can go to Japan, you can go to Korea, you can go to the Horn of Africa, it doesn't really matter. But once you come to the Philippines, for example, Chapter 35 Dependent Education Assistance Benefits, for some odd reason, my wife attends the University of Cebu, but she only receives half the benefits. The going rate is $1,488 and she's only receiving $700. Oh, wow. So I inquired with the VA. I said, is there a reason why my wife is only receiving half the benefits? And they said, oh, sir, it's because you're residing in the Philippines. I'm like, okay, is this some sort of punishment? Because I have friends in foreign countries, their wives and their children are using Chapter 35 benefits, and they receive the full benefits. To my understanding, I think they're getting it confused with Filipino World War II veterans. And somebody along the line has sort of followed suit and said, right, okay, so if you reside in the Philippines, then you only get half. But again, what a lot of people don't understand, I ran into this problem many years ago. What a lot of people don't understand is World War II veterans in the Philippines, they also get the same benefits as a U.S. American does, only at a reduced rate. And I actually read several pages of that, and everything I'm reading says that they get half the rate, but nobody can provide me in writing. Even the VA themselves cannot provide me in writing where it says Americans, veterans, only get half the benefits. And so again, I reiterate, why is it that we are being punished? We served our country proudly, right, honorably. Why is it we are being punished, and why is it we are different than a normal veteran who lives in the U.S. mainland or any other country? What makes the Philippines so different?
I don't know. You would think that you would get full benefits more than you would get in a place like China or some place that we don't really have good diplomatic ties with.
Correct.
You think that you would get everything you need.
Right.
Or everything you're entitled to.
Yes. And then Another thing is we also have a Medal of Honor recipient here in the Philippines, buried here in Cebu City, and there's almost no recognition for this Medal of Honor recipient.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Do you know where he's buried?
Yes, he's buried at the Cebu City National Memorial Cemetery. And actually, we're in the process of redoing the cemetery. We're making it better. We're putting in new cement. We're taking out all the trash. The cemetery actually should only be Filipino veterans and American veterans, but there are civilians actually buried in this cemetery. I've actually sent out an email to the Medal of Honor recipient team back in the US, and I've gotten no reply from them. And I said, why is it that Ulysses Buzzard, who is the Medal of Honor recipient, why is it that he's barely being recognized here in the Philippines? There's also many other problems in the Philippines as far as benefits are concerned. One being, we have to travel from Cebu to Manila in order to get medical care. Now, a 100% disabled American veteran living in the Philippines should be entitled to the same benefits as an American living in Cleveland, Ohio in the United States, but it's not that way. We have to submit our paperwork to the foreign medical program back in the US, and it could be 6, 7, 8 months before we even receive compensation for that. And there's only 11 hospitals in the Philippines, and they're all in Manila, that a veteran can go to. Also, another thing we're entitled to is medical care for our families. So that's another issue here. It's like, why is it so different? We have the right to live anywhere in this world we want to as U.S. veterans.
Right.
So why is it so different because we reside in the Philippines? What makes the Philippines so different? Number one, the Philippines is one of our most closest allies.
They're part of the U.S.
Yes.
At one time.
I mean, that's another thing that doesn't make sense to me is they're our closest ally, and you know, it's almost, they're treated so differently from the U.S. Another thing we're having a problem with is you know, there's no dental program over here. Again, 100% VA rated service member or veteran is entitled to free dental care. There's no dental program over here. We have worked consistently with our local VFW here in the Philippines. We've sent out numerous emails. We're trying to get some answers, but nobody seems to want to answer these questions.
You think it's maybe just an oversight, or you think it's deliberate?
No, I think it's deliberate. I think it's been this way for many, many years, and it needs to be addressed to Congress. Congress needs to sit back, and you know, they're always talking about how they want to take care of veterans. Well, this is a way to take care of veterans. Open up your eyes and look and see, you know, how veterans are treated in another country. You know, it's our right. We earned it. You know, we fought hard for our country. I was in Iraq in 04 to 05 and Afghanistan from 06 to 07.
Yes, thank
you know,
you for that. Thank you
no
for your
problem.
service.
And it's my right. I almost gave my life to my country. You think my country can give the same in return back to us veterans?
Right.
You know, give us a little bit more respect than what is happening. But we've exhausted all means. We've sent out emails unanswered. I've messaged U.S. senators back in the U.S. No answer. You know, it seems like the only time that they come out of their hole is when it's election time. You know, and that's not right.
Right.
You know, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit into it. I'm getting a little bit emotional about it. You know, but
Serious thing, yeah.
you know, and then family members over here, you know, they're going through the same thing. You know, they're married to us, and there's certain benefits my kids should be entitled to. You know, it's not fair. I worked hard and long, and it's not fair that, you know, my children can't get the medical care just because we reside here in the Philippines. We're trying in different islands of the Philippines to get the foreign medical program approved. However, a lot of the hospital leaders don't want it simply because it's taking the foreign medical program 6-7 months to get them paid, and they pay them by check, and half the time the check gets lost. So it becomes very difficult and very aggravating, and we keep repeating ourselves over and over and over again. When is someone going to do something about this? When is somebody going to fix this problem? To me, if you really sit back and look at the big picture, it almost seems like discrimination against the Philippines, you know? Because why is it I have friends in Germany, I have friends in Thailand, Taiwan, you know, Italy. I've called all of them and I've talked to them, and they say, Thomas, we don't know what you're talking about. Our family receives the full benefit. Why is it different for you? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, because somebody is reading into the regulation a little bit too much, and they don't realize that World War II veterans get the same amount of benefits as U.S. veterans, just at a reduced rate.
Right.
And I seen that in writing, but I never once saw it in writing where it specifically says U.S. veteran. You know, it does not say that. It says Filipino scout, the member of the Philippine Army, the old scouts, you know, that's who they are addressing. They are not addressing us U.S. veterans. And, you know, just to...
They should change that wording a bit.
Right. So just to, you know, sum everything up, I think that some congressional leader hopefully will see this blog. You know, somebody in the White House or the VA back home will see this blog and see it's not fair. Imagine if it was you. Imagine if it was your family. Then let's see how you would feel. But it's quite aggravating. And the Philippines is a beautiful country, and I love it here. And you know, it's a shame that I can't live where I want to live.
That is a pretty major problem.
Right. And
Yes.
I'm really hoping and praying that someone out there is watching this. Someone out there saying, you know what, he's right. It's not fair. You know, just a quick story. Back in 2000, I want to say 8, I was previously married before to another Filipino. Yes, I love Filipinos. I was previously married before, and her father was a World War II veteran, and I brought him to the U.S. We went to the VA in Columbia, South Carolina, and I had to sit there and argue with the veteran service officer who's supposed to know more than me, who'd never worked for the VA, that in the Defense Authorization Act, it allowed Filipinos to receive these benefits. And he had no clue. And I argued and argued. It took 6 to 8 hours and a lot of reading for the VA themselves to get educated and understand the difference that Filipino veterans who served alongside the U.S. during World War II are entitled to a lot of benefits. And after 8 hours, he finally came back to me and said, "Sir, I'm sorry. You're correct. You are right.
Well,
We'll go ahead.
That's like a war itself.
Yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll give him his ID card. We're gonna give him his benefits and the whole 9 yards." But it's sad to say that the VA themselves is not even educated on veterans' benefits and veterans' rights. And that's something that needs to be addressed by the VA lead, whoever leads the VA now. I'm not sure because it's changed so many times who is actually over the VA. But that needs to be addressed. So if your veteran service officer is supposed to be the subject matter expert on everything, he doesn't even know. How do you expect a veteran to pass away or die or whatever, and then their family are entitled to certain benefits that the veteran service officer can't even say, "Oh, you're entitled to this, you're entitled to this." See, half the family members won't even know what they're entitled to. Luckily for my family, I'm still here, so I'm still going to fight, and I'm going to continue to fight this. You know,
as you should.
Yeah. So anyone watching this, I really want you to sit back, write your congressman, and realize that we deserve our benefits, regardless of where we live in the world.
Have you spoken to any other veterans living here?
I actually have spoken with a lot of veterans that live here, and they're in agreement with me that I'm right, that we are treated differently here. You know, not to mention one last thing I forgot about. Veterans who are 100% disabled living in the Philippines are only treated for medical or for service-connected disabilities, which is wrong. Because back in the U.S., it doesn't matter if you walk down the street and you never had anything to do with your leg, being on your VA disability, you walk down the street and your leg is suddenly hurting. You're supposed to be able to go to any hospital and get treated for that. That doesn't apply here in the Philippines, you know. And that's another thing is, why is it that we're 100% disabled, but yet we're only entitled to service-connected disabilities? You know, God forbid we die over here and it's not a service-connected disability, then our families pretty much get nothing. I mean, let's think about that answer there. And that's something they need to look at. I don't know what else to say about this situation. It's just, you know, I love living here in the Philippines. I've been here since I got out of the military, and I love it here. And I honestly want to probably stay here the rest of my life. You know, my family's happy here. We went back to the U.S. We lived in Florida for a year. My wife didn't really care for it too much, so we came back here to the Philippines. You know, it's a great country, great people. I enjoy the friendship and everything, and a lot of the friends I met along the way here. You know, to any veteran who may be watching this and having thoughts of coming live in the Philippines, I invite you. I invite you, but if you're a veteran, be cautious. Be cautious, because we are treated different here than we are back in the U.S. So especially if you still have young children who live with you, which I have a 6 and an 8-year-old boy. Especially if you have young children, be cautious, because a lot of our benefits pretty much go away here in the Philippines simply based on where we live, which in my opinions is wrong. You know, to each its own. Everybody has their own opinion on things, but I'm pretty sure a lot of veterans who watch this video are going to give a lot of thumbs up on this video. We got to get some attention on this.
Right. This is definitely more than just how's your life in a foreign country kind of thing. It's much deeper than that.
Yes.
So we're going to try to pass it along as much as we can.
Okay.
It's a very serious issue. I can see that.
Yep.
All right, sir. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy your life. And we're all praying for you. We're all hoping that something can come through.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, this seems like a serious issue for American vets living in the Philippines. Tell me what you think. If you know somebody in the high-up ranks, share this video with them. It's very important that this issue gets resolved. I think all American vets should get the rights they're entitled, no matter where they decided to retire to. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe also. This is Danny with On the Street and T&D Productions. See you next time.